Hello my friends, for today's beer review we're going to be taking a look at Founders Brewery Porter. Founders Porter, let me start off by saying, is an excellent porter. I have had this beer in the past, I will admit, and this will be a very positive review. As you know, I've said it so many times, Founders is my favorite brewery, and this is probably my favorite porter that I've ever had. Now, typically a porter, in my books at least, is kind of like a thinner, lighter stout. Their porter drinks like a stout, and their stout just drinks like a really heavy stout, and I love stouts, so that's a good thing for me. But the commercial description on this beer, it simply just says, dark, rich, and sexy is what it says. It is a 6.5% ABV beer, so a little bit high, not too terribly high. 45 IBUs, not very bitter at all. And typically with porters, unlike stouts, I like to drink these very cold. This is straight out of the fridge, so I'm just going to drink it at the 45, 40 temperature. We'll be drinking this today out of the Duvel glass because this is basically like a stout, and this is what I like to drink stouts out of. So without further ado, let's get the cap off and see what it's all about. Straight out of the bottle, it looks like black chocolate syrup, and let's see if we can get ahead on this. Forms up to about a half finger of very dark burnt caramel colored head. No need to put this one into the light because it's pitch black and you can't see any light through it. Looks very delicious in the glass. Let's give it a smell. You're hit with, you can actually smell just a little bit of alcohol in this one. Dark chocolate, especially dark coffee. This is closer to black coffee with just a little bit of sugar and creamer in it, not very sweet. You may get a little bit of milky, light vanilla in this as well. The nose isn't super complex. Now granted, once again, I just pulled this out of the fridge and it probably needs time to warm up, at least as far as the smell is concerned. But it has smell that you would expect from a stout. It's got huge malts, a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of vanilla, dark chocolate, and dark coffee. Yeah, and that's it. It's not hiding anything. It's just it smells like a stout. Head has dissipated down to just a film, which is to be expected with stouts, porters. I keep referring to this as stout because it just reminds me of a stout and beers with slightly higher than average ABVs. Without further ado, let's give it a taste. Very good. Up front, you have a very roasty, malty cocoa. It is a little bit sweet, but not overly sweet at all. It's definitely bittersweet. That follows into more of a coffee bitterness. So you've got the dark chocolate up front that lends way to the sweetness of this beer, and then you've got the dark coffee in the back that lends way to the bitterness of this beer. And it does have, even though it's only 45 IBUs, it does have a good amount of bitterness at the end to round off the sweetness from the beginning. It's really good, and it's really balanced too. It's not too terribly crazy on any sectors because it has just as much bitterness as it does with the sweetness. Really good. The longer you let this warm up, you'll pick out more vanilla, more caramel, more booze. Right now, the alcohol is very well hidden. Once again, that's because it has been just pulled out of the fridge and is very cold still. But I've had this enough times to tell you and to know that this is a grade A porter. I'm going to give it, based off the 1 to 10 scale, a 9.2. very high up there. Definitely my favorite porter that I've had so far. It does rival kind of the Deschutes Brewery Black Butte Porter, but this one is just a hair better. It's just stronger in all those flavors, and for being a porter, this drinks like some breweries' heaviest stout. So if that's what you're into, then you'll probably like it. You could probably substitute your morning coffee for this, kind of like how they have their breakfast stout. This would probably do the trick too. But yeah, it's not boring, it's just simple. You've got sweet chocolate up front, and it's kind of a cocoa-y chocolate, and then you've got bitter coffee in the back. And it's just a well-rounded, easy drinking, good beer to have on, especially a cold day or to sit by a fire or something. But anyway, that has been Founders Brewing Porter. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and tune in for my next beer review.